Hello my friends, so it is time for a new travel adventure. Es ist Zeit für eine neue Reise, ein neues Abenteuer. And I am going to Berlin, Germany, the capital of Germany. I'm so excited for this trip. It's been quite a while since I last went on a travel adventure. So you coming along for this adventure with me? Let's go! Los geht's! Ich bin hier in Berlin angekommen. I have arrived. Das Abenteuer in Berlin kann beginnen. Los geht's! Hallo, hello. Also, guten Morgen, meine Freunde. Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the first full day of my travel adventure here in Berlin, die Hauptstadt von Deutschland, the capital of Germany. So I arrived in Berlin quite late last evening. So when I arrived, it was all dark, but I managed to meet up with my friend Sam, who has moved out here to Berlin. So I had a nice kind of first evening enjoying some currywurst, which Germany is very, very famous for, which I really enjoyed actually. But today I'm really, really excited because it's going to be my first full opportunity to explore this magnificent international capital city. And right now, I hope you can see the Berlin TV Tower. Now this is one of the most iconic landmarks here in Berlin, the capital of Germany. It stands at around 368 meters, and I'm hoping during my stay here to get right up there to enjoy the panoramic views of Berlin. But I'm really, really excited for this first full day in Berlin, where I should be able to explore lots of this wonderful city. Für ein schöner Tag. Ich habe das Glück, dass heute ein sehr schöner Tag ist. Die Sonne scheint und ich genieße die Sonne im Moment. Und ich werde meinen Freund Sam treffen und heute Morgen werden wir diese Stadt erkunden. So, my friend Sam is now an expert in Berlin because he moved here a few months ago to teach English as a foreign language, and this morning he's going to show me around the city. So I'm going to meet up with him this morning and I cannot wait to explore the city. Hallo meine Freunde, guten Morgen. So Sam is here again, and Sam, you moved here just a few months ago, so we've been chatting for quite a while now about me coming out to visit you. But what can you tell me about life in Berlin?
Yeah, loving it so far, to be honest. I moved here at the beginning of September, and I moved here with only one job lined up and had to wait for the work permit. But yeah, it's been very good so far. I really like the city, a very good international vibe to it as well. And yeah, it's really good. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of amazing landmarks as well. It's a city where there's always something going on, so you don't really get bored or anything. And this is my first month of full-time work, so I'm striking the work-life balance at the moment, to be honest. But yeah, so far so good. It's an amazing city, and if you've never been to Berlin, then I'd highly recommend it, visiting or even moving here like I have, because it's an amazing city and obviously one of the biggest and best in Europe, I'd say.
Absolutely, we're in a beautiful part of Berlin right now. I'm very, very lucky. I'm so lucky to get such a beautiful day to start off my little Germany trip. And behind us now, you can see the Berliner Dom, the Berlin Cathedral, which is absolutely stunning cathedral. I mean, this is one of the sort of postcard landmarks of Berlin. But when you came here as a tourist, Sam, compared to now living, what would you say in terms of when you arrived here for the first time, what was it like? What kind of impressed you about Berlin?
Obviously, when I came as a tourist, you kind of rush into I was here for 2.5 days as a tourist, so you kind of rush in to see all the landmarks and stuff. So obviously, when you live here, you can take your time a little bit more with things. But the main things that impressed me, obviously, the Brandenburg Gate is like the iconic landmark here.
We'll be on our way to that soon.
If you're going to go to the Brandenburg Gate, I'd highly recommend going at night because the night views there are amazing. The Victory Column's really good. The Berlin Wall is amazing as well, and obviously this area as well, where you got the Altus Museum and the Cathedral, and Museum Island in general is really nice. And yeah, I'd say they're the main things that have impressed me. There's a lot of different neighbourhoods in Berlin with so much going on. So.
Yeah, and the people here, I mean, it's such an international city, and that's obviously what we love so much about living in Madrid. But what can you tell me about the kind of the locals? What's the kind of the vibe here, the energy of the city like?
So I think it's so when I first moved here in September, it was like 30 degrees in my first week, and the atmosphere and the vibe, all the parks were really busy. There was loads of people out and about. In the winter, it does calm down a lot. Like in the winter, a lot of people kind of just go to work, and obviously because the winters in Germany are they're a little bit dull and cold, it's fair to say, but obviously as the weather gets better and progresses, you'll see a lot more people out and about on the streets. And the summers here, I haven't experienced a full summer here yet, but it's meant to be a completely different city in the summer, so that's obviously really good. And obviously in the winter it's still good, but I feel like the summer will give me more of an impression of what the locals are really like here.
All right, danke schön, Sam. Sehr gut, thank you very much. And yeah, we're going to explore lots of this beautiful city and make our way over in that direction to the Brandenburg Gate soon. But we're going to have a little more wander around here and lots to see in this magnificent city. We have made it to the Brandenburger Tor, the Brandenburg Gate, this iconic landmark here in Berlin. And Sam, would you say, is this your favourite place in Berlin, or one of them at least?
I think when people think of Berlin, they do think of the Brandenburg Gate. It's like the iconic landmark. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things in Berlin, as I mentioned earlier on, regarding their great landmarks. But I think the Brandenburg Gate is the one that stands out really in terms of like, when you think of coming to Berlin, this is the place you think of coming to. And it's always full of tourists taking photos and stuff, and I've got over that phase now. I've been living here for a few months, but the first 2 months of living here I was always taking photos here because it's that sort of place really. So yeah, it's an amazing landmark and one of the most famous landmarks in Europe, if not the world. So yeah, of course, it's a big part of the city.
For sure, and I was just saying to Sam that whenever I come to kind of a big place where I might have seen so many wonderful photos of before, but you're finally here in person, it's a really, really special feeling. I always look back to in the summer when I was in Rome and I came out of the metro and I saw the Colosseum, so it's a little bit like that now, when you can set your eyes on such an iconic landmark, a place that's been so instrumental in German history and European history. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling, and what a beautiful day we've got here in Berlin to enjoy it. We have made it to the Reichstagsgebäude, so this is the German Parliament. This is where the German Parliament meets to discuss lots of the politics and what's going on in Germany. So again, it's another iconic landmark here in Germany, and potentially on Wednesday when I've got my second day in Germany, because tomorrow I'm actually going to go to Hamburg, so it's going to be a slight kind of intermittent trip in this part of my Germany trip. So potentially could go up there. But yes, it's a very impressive building, and you can see, you might be able to see, it says Dem Deutschen Volke, so it means to the German people. This has been an absolutely monumental building in German history, German politics. Germany has been through so much when it comes to the politics of this country, so many political changes, and this has all happened in the Reichstagsgebäude. Also, wir sind im Tiergarten. We are in the Tiergarten, which is the most famous park in Berlin, right, Sam? Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say it's the most famous. I mean, the location's kind of perfect, right next to the Brandenburg Gate, and it separates the Brandenburg Gate and the Victory Column. So I think if you're a tourist, you're bound to come to the Tiergarten, even if you don't mean to, because it's so close to the Brandenburg Gate, and it's very nice when the weather's like this and sunny as well.
Yeah, and we've just come from the memorial for the fallen kind of Soviet soldiers, and there's this big street sort of between the Brandenburg Gate and the Victory Column, as you said. It separates the two. So I think we're sort of going to head away in that direction a little bit, aren't we, and explore this park a bit. But we've seen so much in Berlin already, so it's been wonderful already. What a city this is, Sam.
Yeah, great city.
Meine Freunde, also welcome to the second full day of my Germany trip, my little Germany adventure. And you might have noticed I have another guest here, another friend. Kai has come along to Berlin as well. Another surprise, I wasn't expecting to see you in Berlin, Kai, but it's lovely to see you. And yesterday we had a little explore around the Kurfürstendamm area of Germany, of Berlin, which is this really long big street with lots of shops and restaurants, and I think it's probably really good for the sort of the nightlife in Berlin, a very cultural area of Berlin. So we had a nice Greek meal. We love our Greek food, so we enjoyed that yesterday. And I'm currently on my way to the Hauptbahnhof Berlin Central Station, because I'm going to be continuing my journey today to Hamburg. So I'm going to have the day in Hamburg. It's only a couple of hours or so away from Berlin, and I have a friend, Lukas, in Hamburg, so I'm very excited to see him. He studies in Hamburg, and I've not seen him in a long time, so I'm excited to continue the journey. But Kai, as a native German, what do you generally think about Berlin?
We often think of Berlin as kind of a different Germany because it's more international. You noticed, you said yesterday that you hear more English than you might have expected. So it's its own thing, but at the end of the day, a lot of events are here, so you more or less always will come back. And the history is undeniable. It is very important, especially for the Berlin Wall.
Absolutely.
Which was very famous in world history.
Yeah, it's such a significant city in German history.
It's always worth it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got a day in Hamburg ahead of me, and then I will be returning to Berlin for the final day of my trip. So we'll see more of Kai then, and there'll be lots more to do in Berlin in a couple of days. But let's go, second day. Los geht's. Hallo Leute, also ich bin in Hamburg angekommen und jetzt kann ich diese Stadt erkunden. Ich bin in der zweiten größten Stadt Deutschlands. Los geht's! Meine Freunde, ich habe durch die Stadt gelaufen und jetzt bin ich hier und hinter ihr könnt sehen das Hamburger Rathaus, the Hamburg Town Hall. It's a really impressive building. The architecture is very impressive, I must say. It's one of the most beautiful town halls I've seen. So, beginning to explore Hamburg on foot now, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. Meine Freunde, also jetzt spaziere ich durch die Speicherstadt in Hamburg. So I'm walking through the Speicherstadt, which is the warehouse district of Hamburg. It's very famous and renowned for all of these red brick buildings, which you can see around me right now, and also over there. And I'm walking in this direction because there's a magnificent concert hall called the Elbphilharmonie, which looks like it's absolutely worth visiting. So I'm making my way over there right now, and I'm walking through this district, which is, I imagine, was very, very industrial, and with it being a warehouse district, there have been lots and lots of people working down here by the river Elbe, which runs through Hamburg. So I'm making my way over there right now, and Hamburg is extremely renowned and well known for all of its canals through the city, and I've already walked over many, many bridges. So let's keep going. Also meine Freunde, ich bin hier und hinter ihr könnt die Elbphilharmonie sehen. So behind me you can see the Elbphilharmonie, which is a magnificent concert hall. I mean, it's absolutely gigantic, and the architecture is very, very spectacular as well, with the sort of the curves and the different kind of shapes and pattern you can kind of see on the outside of the building. So very, very impressive. And this is in stark contrast to what you can see behind me right now, because over there that looks to me like some kind of oil refinery, and then just in the distance you can see lots of container ships and container ports. So this is the river Elbe, which runs through Hamburg, and it connects Hamburg to the North Sea. And Hamburg is one of the biggest ports in Germany and in mainland Europe itself. It's a huge, huge city when it comes to global trade, particularly in Europe. So here you have the spectacular modern architecture contrasted with the industrial backdrop here, which is a vital part of Hamburg's history and heritage. Hello meine Freunde! So I'm here with my friend Lucas, who I've not seen in such a long time. So when I was in Madrid in Spain on my year abroad, I went on a trip to North Morocco, and I'll provide a link to it so you can check that out if you want to. A good year or so ago, and I made a wonderful friend, Lucas, from Germany here, and this is the first time we've seen each other since that trip. But you've recently moved to Hamburg, haven't you, Lucas? Over the last three months or so. In October you moved?
In October, yeah. I arrived here in October for my master's, and I'm glad to welcome Nelson here in Hamburg.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a joy to see friends you made on, well, I made on those trips I had, and finally see each other again. We've kept in touch, which is wonderful. But what can you tell me about Hamburg, Lucas? Since you've lived here, how would you describe the city?
The city is, as I said before, we talked about it earlier, it's a perfect mixture of a big city, which is where something is going on every day and every weekend. It won't get boring at all, but it's also not too big. Right now we are at the bunker in Hamburg. If we want to, we could walk to the city center right now, and we will be there in 20 minutes. So that's what I really like about the city, and it's also well connected to nature. You have the Ostsee, as we call it here in Germany, pretty close. Hamburg has its own beach. It's too cold there right now.
Absolutely, we're in January. I can't lie, I'm feeling a little bit freezing at the moment.
My hands hurt.
Yes. But right behind us now, you can actually see, so for the football fans, obviously I love my football, but you might recognise that stadium, or a team, you might have heard of it, called St. Pauli, basically. So this is a team, I guess, in Hamburg, but not quite as big as the HSV Hamburg team, which I think I'm not sure whether they're both in the second division at the moment, but I know Hamburg HSV are.
They're a little bit.
Yeah, so a big club, but they've dropped down a little bit.
Yes.
And if we turn around again, so earlier, when I was over there, that was the Elbphilharmonie, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is a big concert hall, and is this one of the sort of the biggest landmarks in Hamburg, would you say, Lucas?
It is. It's also a great viewpoint. If you want to go there, you can access the top floor for free, I think until 7 p.m. and then you can have a look around the city. I think not right now because it's too foggy, but usually you have a great view.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks amazing. It's right at the river, so it's a cool location.
Yeah, and what makes, we were just chatting about it before,
Yeah.
but what makes Hamburg unique, would you say? Obviously you've grown up in Germany, you've been to so many different places, but what makes Hamburg unique?
It's definitely the location. So Hamburg is located in the north of Germany, right at the river. So you have many different canals that go through the city, which makes it super beautiful, very unique. It's I would call it the German Venice.
Yeah.
And not as beautiful or warm, but it gets close to there.
Yeah, I mean, not quite as lucky at the moment with this Dunkelflaute, with all
Yes.
this fog at the moment. So I was so lucky in Berlin yesterday. But here we go. We're in the middle of
Yeah.
January in Germany, but this is what we can expect. But I imagine in spring and summertime, it's absolutely beautiful here.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you, Lucas. It's been so
You're
wonderful
welcome.
to see you, and we'll have lots more to explore this
Exactly.
evening. But yeah, this is such a cool place, this bunker. Recommend you check it out. You have these panoramic views of the city of Hamburg, and I'm sure, like I mentioned, in the summer, this place would be beautiful to see the sunset. So check it out if you come here. Also, ich bin schon wieder zurück im Hauptbahnhof in Hamburg, and it's time to go back to Berlin. So I had a lovely day in Hamburg yesterday, and it was so special to catch up with my friend Lucas, who I've not seen in almost a year and a half. It was so lovely, him showing me around his new home, Hamburg, where he's studying, and I must admit, I really like the city. I can tell already that it's quite a unique, special German city. By the port, by the water, so close to the North Sea, it's definitely got a different feel to it. But I'll be making my way back to Berlin shortly, and it'll be my final day here in Germany on this trip. But I've absolutely loved it so far, and when I get back to Berlin, I'm sure there'll be lots more to do to fill out my final day here in Deutschland. Let's go! Los geht's! Hallo meine Freunde, also ich bin in Berlin zurückgekommen, and behind me now again you can see the Reichstag's Gebäude, the German Parliament, and me and Kai are going to explore Berlin a bit more this afternoon. Hallo mein Kumpel, wie geht's? Hallo meine Freunde, also wir essen Fisch in einem typischen deutschen Restaurant Nordsee. Guten Appetit! We have made it to the top of the Berlin Fernsehturm TV tower, offering panoramic views of the city of Berlin. It's quite cloudy and a bit foggy, but I'm going to enjoy these views of this fantastic international city. So my friends, we are now walking to a museum in Berlin, and behind you can see some of the remains of the Berlin Wall, which fell in 1989, an absolutely monumental part of German history when East Berlin and West Berlin could finally join back together and the city was no longer divided. It's a huge, huge moment in German history, and it's very, very important for me to learn a lot more about it. So we're on our way to a museum to do just that right now. Hallo meine Freunde und guten Abend, and this evening I have made it to the Brandenburg Tor once more, and at night this is absolutely spectacular. This is so beautiful. Me and Kai were just chatting about it, and I think the Brandenburg Tor, the Brandenburg Gate, is so iconic on its own, but when it's lit up in this golden light, illuminated in gold with the peace statue above it, symbolising peace, I think it's really, really special. It's so beautiful to be here and see it, this iconic landmark in the heart of Berlin, this fantastic city in Germany, and I have had such a wonderful trip. It's been so special to catch up with my friend Lukas yesterday and spend lots of quality time with my friend Kai and explore this magical city. What a trip! Guten Morgen and welcome to Berlin Brandenburg Airport again. It's that time again, my friends. Unfortunately, it's time for me to go back home after a wonderful trip here in Berlin and to Hamburg. Had a wonderful time here in northern Germany. It's been a fantastic trip. I hope you've enjoyed it. And make sure to like and subscribe for lots more travel content on the channel. And I'll see you all for another video again soon. Bis bald. Tschüss.